Good afternoon, everybody in the Cycling Innovation Network. Really exciting to be here this afternoon with Stan Day from SRAM. We're going to discuss the SRAM journey and hopefully pick up lots of insights and learnings along the way. My name is Irene McAleese. I'm co-founder of CSense. We're a cycling technology and data company based in Northern Ireland, and we've been long-time members of CIE. So Stan Day, founder of SRAM, founded back in 1987 based on one single product, and has now become one of the leading component manufacturers worldwide. Stan, tell us a little bit about the story. What are your most vivid memories from that time?
There were six of us. It was an old dusty warehouse on the west side of Chicago. We swept it out. We slapped some paint on the walls. It was a classic startup with spending very little money. It was the most exciting time. And we had incredible traction under our feet. Everything we did moved the ball forward. When you're small and you're not managing, you're doing, it's a lot more fun. Every moment of every day, you were making progress. In our situation, we weren't necessarily making progress towards economic success during the first several years, but we were making progress down paths that ended up being dead ends, and we back up and we try again, and we kept trying to figure out the right combination of factors that would create growth, and we eventually did.
You took some time to go down those paths and learn what worked and learn from that, and were able to evolve and test things out, which is really interesting. When did you feel that had changed and that there was that transition to being a larger company?
It's about the third week of February in 1991, and Mike Mercury and I were up at Trek showing our new twist shifter and to the product manager, and he was interested in using our twist shifter on Trek's hybrid product line. We called John Burke out, and John Burke rode the hybrid bike around the Trek warehouse, and he came back and said, "That's going to be how we distinguish our hybrid bikes from mountain bikes. We're going to do it with a twist shifter." The specification was for 150,000 bikes. And that was the instant we got it done. And it was just an incredible moment.
You know, when we looked into the SRAM story, there has been a lot of acquisitions that have been made, of other smaller companies then along the way. What made you choose to go that route, and then how did you go about integrating them into your company as you evolved?
As we moved into derailleurs and other more complicated components, we didn't have either the manufacturing experience, or the design experience for those things. That was a huge catalyst for us to begin to expand our component offering. And the other acquisitions were all about adding additional technology to our portfolio. But we didn't lay off anybody. We kept, especially the product development groups, we never consolidated a location. We have all the locations at which we acquired companies today because we wanted the people, and it was the people that really have the knowledge. The integration part is about being transparent and building trust. I don't think there'd be anything scarier in the business world than being acquired by somebody else. You just don't know what's going to happen. And you need to build that trust, and you need to build the transparency to really empower them to continue to do great things.
It's not just about, this is technology I want to purchase. It's actually the skills and the people that have gone into creating that. And as much as anything, you're trying to build your team by adding to it with those experiences. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
SRAM is one of the most committed companies, I would say, to cycling advocacy in the world. You're a founding member of People for Bikes and CIE, and you have created globally important the SRAM Cycling Fund as well. Could you elaborate a little bit more about your philanthropic sort of aims? Is it a business decision, or where does that come from in terms of your motivation?
I would characterize it as coming from a place of enthusiasm and passion for the industry. And we thought, you know what, we're a successful company now, and it's time to start giving back to an industry that has given us so much. It was about, we have an opportunity to change how governments approach cycling infrastructure. And if we get better cycling infrastructure, if we get more places to ride, it will grow the entire industry. I think it's really important that young companies secure their success. But when they become successful, you have the opportunity to think about, how can I give back to this great industry? How can I help this great industry grow and expand its potential? And that's been where our focus has been, and we'll continue to do that.
Sometimes you can see the cycle advocacy world and the business world seem to operate separately. And there's now so much potential to bring the two together, isn't there, in terms of growing the whole pie for everybody?
It's important, I think, to distinguish dollars from effort. I wouldn't get caught up in, hey, I have to give 100,000 euros or something like that. If your individual participation, not only by the heads of companies, but by everybody in the company, just makes a huge difference to the whole advocacy effort.
Yeah, it's really great to hear you say that, because what we've been seeing in the CIE is that there's actually a lot of small companies that have been wanting to join, this movement and make an impact. And it's really nice to hear that, maybe it's not always the large check that we can write, but there's the effort and the ability to network in forums like the CIE that can hopefully make some impact.
Yep, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm thinking about, tips for entrepreneurs starting out or with young companies looking to scale and grow. How did you maintain core values and culture as you grew and scaled your company? And what would you recommend?
I don't think we did it consciously. I think we did it instinctively. We were also excited to build a business where we could have fun working at it. That was a real core piece of what we were doing. Some of the things that make a place fun to work at is a lot of trust. You have to have people that want to work together, and you have to have people that believe in the future and the possibility of what you're doing. And if you can get all that together, you can go a long, long ways. It's a fun place to work, and that creates its own energy and its own power, I think.
Love that. I love hearing that from ourselves, and I know some of the other entrepreneurs I've met in the network. They've left, say, corporate careers. They've wanted to go and start their own company, and it's a chance to do things fresh, isn't it? And to bring your own approach to it, and hopefully have fun, as you say, along the way.
Yep.
Any other last tips or piece of advice you would like to share?
Two things come to mind. You need to get into it. You need to make mistakes. You need to course correct. And so a real key thing, I think, in starting a business is don't dig too deep of a financial trench, because you're going to have to fill it in. Do not be seduced by, if I just could come up with this new promotion program and advertise. Right. That's not it. It's about getting the product right, the delivery to the market right, getting the right set of features and that kind of thing. So no matter how good you think your idea is, I would recommend spend as little money as possible. Go into a small, dusty warehouse. Keep the financial trench as shallow as possible. The second one, and I think we made mistakes on this throughout our business life, I think it's important to have an intense focus on quality. I can't tell you how many times we took 2 steps forward and 1.5 steps back because of a quality issue. So those would be the 2 things. Keep the financial trench as shallow as possible, and keep your eye on the quality ball.
That's some really great tips there. Thank you so much. I think that's given us lots of food for thought, and I like the idea of not spending loads of money on advertising and marketing until you've nailed all these things, because hopefully if you create a great product, that side of it will come. Look, it's been amazing to speak with you today, and on behalf of everyone at CIE and on the Cycling Industry Network, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for your support of the CIE network, and we continue to follow your business and with a great interest.
Okay. Terrific, Irene. Thank you very much. And thanks to everybody that's part of the network. Take care.